What you look like, this is what they say to me, especially when it's coming from the heart. Hey folks, this is Buzzy Martin out here, and we already talked a long time and stuff.
Yes, we have.
We got half of the story, but now we're going to get to what?
It's called The Rest of the Story,
oh,
page 2.
Do it. Here we go.
Is that copywritten?
No, we don't do that anymore. By the way, the world is better off with having freedom of copyright. I'll talk to you about that later. But
we'll talk about that. Okay.
It's a wonderful world that we live in now that's totally different than it was.
It's all changing as we talk.
And it's better.
It's much better.
Oh, okay. What was that again?
It's much better.
And the other thing?
It's
the rest of the story?
The rest of the story.
That's what it was.
That's
okay.
The rest of the story, yeah.
Here we go.
So just go for it.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, the rest of the story is, so my wife and I self-published this book.
Yes.
Took me 6 years to write. I wrote it all by hand, every day, hours at a time. And after
transcribed from tapes that you did?
Yeah, transcribed from tapes.
Wow.
Yeah, I would sit there in the backyard and just write for hours and hours and hours. And we started the hacking of going through it and editing it ourselves, which was amazing to do that. I read it over and over and over and over for a couple of years until we got it to the point to where I felt pretty confident. And then we started looking for an editor, which that led me to go to Copperfield's. And then I asked if anybody knew anybody that was an editor, and the woman behind the counter said, I know this lady who works at the JC College. So I called this woman up, and we met. I gave her the manuscript, and she took it home and edited it out for me and made it all really good. And then from there, we started going more for it, and then I got to the point where I felt good enough to where I wanted to try to get it out in book form. Well, should I just talk?
Absolutely.
So as we were editing with Joanne, I got really frustrated.
Of course, I'm getting excited on behalf of the audience because we heard the, what'd you say? Penguin.
The rest of the story.
How did you get to Penguin? Because this is, you know.
Okay, I'm sorry. If I'm going too slow.
No, it's all right because I get to edit. You said to me, here comes a person who's smiling. I like that.
So.
Can we have your permission to put you on forever and ever?
Really?
Don't forget, by the way. Okay.
So what happens is,
yes.
So we're going through this edit, and it got really frustrating because in the meantime, nobody really wants to hear my message about not locking people up and, you know, watching out.
What is that message again now?
Not locking everybody up. We can't throw everybody in juvenile halls and county jails and prisons. We can't do this.
That's the end result of all of this.
We just, education, not incarceration. I say that all the time.
What was that again?
Education, not incarceration.
Oh, okay.
So, one thing led to another.
Is that .com or is that?
That's BuzzyMartin.com.
Oh, very good.
So,
yes.
And so my wife suggested we go to Petaluma to this little trivia thing, and I said I didn't want to do it. And any guy that's married for a long time knows that's the wrong answer. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So we went down, and as we're down there getting ready to play trivia, there's these two ladies at the table talking about being in a book club. And I said, there's book clubs, really, because you know my thing is, I ended up reading Mad Magazine and Guitar Player Magazine, and so I was amazed that people had book clubs. So one thing led to another. I said, well, you know, I got this manuscript. Did you want to read my manuscript? And she said, I'd love to read your manuscript. And if I find any mistakes, would you mind if I check them out? And I said, you know, have at it, because I already paid our editor to do all the mistakes. So she came back the following week and said, well, I think it's a really good book, but I made some changes for you. And I opened up my manuscript, and it was just brutal. And I looked up, and she said, by the way, I'm an editor, and I work for a book company. If you make these changes, this is going to be a great book. And so we went home, and I called my editor at that point, and she said, send it over, and I did, and she was right, and we did.